This is generational.
Ooh,
And Pete
rant.
Buttigieg, uh, no, this is not a rant. This is just what former Secretary Pete Buttigieg said. He's about my age. He's mid 40s,
Yeah.
and he gave a talk recently. And one of the things he said is, our generation will not be able to fix this. He was talking to younger folks, the generation behind me. I'm in my mid 40s. I think I just said that. See, I repeated myself. A senior moment.
Only gets
The
worse.
next it'll yeah, right.
That's-
It'll be up to the next generation. So I guess that would be the millennials, and Y and Z will have to fix it. We're not going to fix this. This is deeply rooted. If people who think if Trump passes away or doesn't run again, and he'll never be quiet, but if he's quieter and he goes back to Mar-a-Lago and spends his time golfing and trying to be like a Republican kingmaker, that Trumpism is just going to MAGAism is just going to fade away into the ether. That's not reality. This stuff is in the blood. I don't want to say blood because they say blood and soil. It's in the DNA now of conservatives, and that's going to take a long time to kind of wash out of the system. And we're seeing now with the shutdown. In the old days, what you would get Murkowski and Collins and Tim Kaine, and in the old days, John McCain, and in the old days, John Cornyn. And they'd go to one of their offices and they'd stay in there for 4 or 5 hours in between votes, and they would come out with a plan, and they would both take and they would anoint two people. They would take it to their leaderships, and that's how you get out of a shutdown. There's none of that going on in the Senate, and that's the Senate's role, is to get the country out of these jams. So we're the Senate, the institution that's supposed to do that by design, is forgetting how to do that. And then you've got
well,
all
they
this.
don't know how to do that.
They don't know, right? They've forgotten, right? And there's no incentive to do it. And that's how society and the politics is driving. There's no incentive. So I don't know if it's fixable. I mean, we've got a housing cost crisis. We were talking about this at dinner Friday night, Brian.
Yeah.
We've got all these problems that we can't fix because we've forgotten how to do it. Because you have to work together to fix these problems. And, there's no incentive. And when Trump is sitting at the top of one party, there's less incentive for a Susan Collins, even though Susan Collins will buck Trump, but she's not doing it in the shutdown. She's the ranking member of the Appropriations Committee. They pass the spending bills that keeps the government open. Susan Collins, it's not like she's walking across the hall to meet with Schumer. You know what I mean? She's
Right.
not walking across the hall to meet with Patty Murray, the chairman of the Appropriations Committee, even though those two do work decently together. But they're not. That fiber is ripped. That tissue is gone. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's fixable.
Where do you think the roots of that are? Newt
Well, I think it's
Gingrich.
safe to you can draw a straight line back to 9/11. What was supposed to bring us together, what was supposed to bring the country together, led to the ascension of Dick Cheney, which led to Afghanistan going off the rails, which led to the Iraq War, which really fueled, I think, a lot of division, drove a lot of people away from the Republicans. And then, of course, you had the economic crisis that drove people, and you had the rise of Obama, and that certainly fueled the rise of Trump.
Yeah, it did, but
And
I
you can
think it
draw a
goes back
straight
further.
line right across.
I think it goes all the way back to Dick Cheney. I think it goes back to Nixon and Reagan. But that's
It probably goes back to
yeah,
Nixon. You're
yeah.
you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Mark.